Annmarie, talk us through what we know, what has been going on as we've watched the progress towards this vote, which we now think will not happen.
Yeah, fantastic scoop this morning about potentially what could happen, and now we're seeing it happen right now. The Senate Republicans are not giving quorum, basically the numbers you need for this to go forward in the panel level right now. So if they are trying to hold back Sarah Bloom Raskin, the issue is it's holding back all the other Fed nominees. Now, likely this is just tactical negotiation. Potentially what they could do is they're probably going to try to get the Democrats to get on board to peel off Sarah Bloom Raskin and then move forward with the other 4 Fed nominees. But you can see that at the moment, they are tying up the White House's, all of the White House's nominations on moving forward by delaying this vote and really dragging the feet on these nominations. And they're pointing to the fact that this is because of Sarah Bloom Raskin. And they pointed to a number of issues, her directorship at a fintech company, Reserve Trust, but also how she views what the financial markets and their role should be in terms of climate change.
Well, Mike, and on those issues, are the Republicans overplaying her power if she were indeed confirmed to drastically change some of this regulatory environment, or is that ability that she actually would have and these valid concerns therefore?
Yeah, not only are they overplaying her abilities to act, they're ignoring the fact that she has pledged not to do those things in writing to the committee. It's really a question of power play by the Republicans, and it's not unexpected given the mood up on the Hill these days between the two sides. There is a couple of ways out of it for the Democrats. They could, as Annmarie suggested, separate Sarah Bloom Raskin out, but that would probably doom her nomination. There is a rule in the Senate that is in place just because this Senate is divided 50-50 that allows the majority or the controlling party to bring a nomination to the floor if it's ignored in committee. It's a little more complicated, but they could bring her nomination and everybody else's to the floor at the same time through that process if all Democrats stick together. And of course, Ben Ray Lujan of New Mexico is at this point still on the sideline, so it would delay everybody in that case.
Annmarie, is there a plan B? How wedded to Sarah Bloom Raskin is the White House?
At the moment, there isn't a plan B. We haven't even heard from the White House yet about this. And as Mike said, she has put in writing what she plans to do, which is maintain within the parameters that the Federal Reserve operates. Mike, though, does bring up another very complicated map for the Democrats in the sense that Senator Lujan is still not back in the Senate. He did put out a video on Sunday. I was watching it over again. He said he will be back to work in a few weeks. So potentially this could complicate it. But what you are really seeing, I think Mike gets to the heart of it, is just power play and politics happening on Capitol Hill. Because these nominees, at least 4 of them will for sure go in, and there will be a way for Sarah Bloom Raskin, I'm sure, to get to the Senate floor, but they are certainly trying to make it hard for the Democrats.
Mike, how does this impact Federal Reserve policy? Of course, we are watching this play out on a day where we got hotter than expected PPI, which followed hotter than expected CPI last week. Inflation dogging the Biden administration, who is pointing to the Fed to do something about it. Will monetary policy be influenced, maybe less so by Sarah Bloom Raskin, but the nominees who are still in contention waiting to be confirmed, which are now potentially being held up as well?
I don't think so. And the reason being that Jay Powell and Lael Brainerd, whose nominations to be chairman and vice chairman are caught up in this, are still governors of the Fed. They'll still be there. Powell has been elected by members of the Fed to be the chairman pro tem. He is already the chairman. It's a separate responsibility of the Open Market Committee to make monetary policy. So it's just as if they didn't vote at all. The Fed can go ahead on March 16th and do what it's going to do, and we have a pretty good idea of what that's going to be. And this really won't affect it. It probably wouldn't have much of an effect over the course of the year because new members to the Fed tend to go along with the committee, given the fact that they have to make up and get used to what's going on. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. As far as the White House sticking with Sarah Bloom Raskin, there's an interesting question here because the Democrats boycotted the Judiciary Committee vote on Amy Coney Barrett to the Supreme Court. Republicans just changed the rules and voted anyway. So Democrats may be angry at that and might do something similar here. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.